Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our second session of app development with Kodular. I hope during the first session you are able to be acquainted with other languages and an introduction to other platforms. And it is our hope that even after Kodular development, you will have that curiosity to go and develop with other languages and other platforms. So yeah, let's continue. So just a word of expectation of today's session. We are going to continue with the user interface development. For us to finish, the sections which will require images, we'll leave them blank, and then we'll give them to you where, or towards the end of the session, if time allows, we are going to upload the images. But there is that tendency of us delaying for people to go and search for images, for you to choose the image that you want. So for images, we are going to just postpone that and have a blank section, somehow creating a skeleton. And then towards the end of the session, I'm very hopeful that we are going to upload the images. I have my images already, so yeah, let's continue. Now, during the last session, we reached, let me share my screen. In the last session, we were able to create a user interface. We were able to create this screen. We were able to create a sign up, or rather a register screen. We were able to finish that and uploaded an image icon, and we were able to familiarize ourselves on how to duplicate a component. And hopefully today we are going to duplicate a screen so that we can move very fast. So we have 3 more screens left, and then we will ensure that we have added the non-visible components first, so that in the next coming session, we will be implementing the logic and testing it out. Okay, great. I'm excited on my end. I hope you are too. So let's continue. Let's pick it up from where we stopped. So I'm assuming that you are like me. We want to continue from where we stopped. So I'll just open my Chrome. And then I'll just go to Kodular. So go to kodular.io again. You can go back to Kodular.io. So if you already created an app before, of course, that's what we did last week. You no, during this week. Yeah, it's still Saturday. Yeah, so if you already created an app, when you click on Kodular or create app, you can be able to go straight to the application if you saved your session. Or if not, you can log in or log back with the socials that you use. If you used Google, you can log back to Kodular using Google. So I just want you to go back to where we stopped. Just go back to where we stopped. This is where we stopped last time. You can select the app. Of course, the app will be populated there. And I know you might have different icons from mine, but this is where we stopped. We added an image. And I remember for some of you, I just gave you an open ended session whereby you can go and look for images yourself. I'll highly encourage that you do that as well. Now, this is the screen that we finished creating last time. So when you look at the login screen, or the sign-in screen rather, it's very similar, except on the username section. Okay, it's just very similar, except on the username section. So instead of us going and creating a new screen, then typing in, dragging in and dropping in some items, or duplicating again and working on that screen, we are going to duplicate screen 1 and edit it so that we can move a bit faster. Great. Now, to duplicate a screen, it's very easy. It's very easy. Just click on copy screen. Let me hope we are together. Let me hope I'm not leaving anyone behind. Let me hope I'm not leaving anyone behind. I don't want to leave anyone behind. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We will attend to you. We will attend to you. Great. Now, let's duplicate the screen. Let's go ahead and duplicate the screen. What you do is click on copy screen. It's at the top of the viewer section. Click on copy screen. And then instead of calling it screen 2, let's give it a name so that we can easily access this at the in the block section, or we can easily find the screen that is meant to be. For example, in this case, we are creating a login screen, so we just rename it to login like that, so that when you navigate from one screen to another, we can easily put that in the naming. So click copy. So what I've done is I've clicked on copy screen, and then I have renamed, instead of screen 2, I have renamed it to login screen. Then after that, as you can see, we have everything there. We are going to rename a couple of things. First of all, let's start from the top. Of course, we are satisfied with the icon. Then instead of register with us, we are going to call it login. Login. So you can delete that and then type in login. Login, okay? Or I don't know what we called sign in. Yeah, whichever you prefer, sign in or login. I find login as a very short. I mean, it's not very wordy, but I can just write sign in. Feel free. You can write login or sign in. Then this is the username text box. We are not requiring it anymore. We'll be signing it with email and password. So you can delete that. Click there, and then there is a dustbin button at the top. Click delete, and it will disappear. And then just remove one of the spaces. Just remove one of the spaces, either space 3 or space 4, so that you can only have one space between sign in and between sign in. Then we have the email text box. We leave it as it is. We have the password text box. We leave it as it is. Then at the register button, this is not register anymore. It is login. So rename that kindly. Rename that to login button. I know maybe, okay, in our case, we have, we have a login button at the bottom. So just rename it so that it can be, you can put capital L. Let's see if that will work. Yes, it will work. It will work. Because you already have a login button below, the duplicates aren't accepted. So since we've renamed that to login button, we can name it to, let me confirm, it's login. Great, we wrote login. So you can write there, login at the text section. Just type there, login, and then they have an account. If you can look at the screen here, the screen that we created, we have, it's called forgot password. So in case you've forgotten a password, you can reset it. So instead of login there, we can rename it to forgot password button, forgot password button. That's a very long name. So be as creative as you need to be, so that it isn't very long. So for my case, I'll just write forgot pass button, and then rename that. Then in the text, as you can see, there is forgot password, question mark, then reset. So that's exactly what you're going to type in there. Forgot password, then reset. Just prepare. This will be your assignment. After you learn some logic, you'll be the one to implement reset password screen. Okay? It is easy. It is easy. So far, what we've done is we were at screen 1. Let me just echo out what we were doing. We were at screen 1. We clicked copy screen. Then instead of having it as screen 2, we named it to log in, so that we can easily access it. And there we have the login screen. As a title, we changed that, instead of register with us, to sign in, and deleted username text box and a space. Then for the email text box, we leave it. I don't know if lived. Yeah, we left it as it was. Same with password text box. And then we renamed that to login button instead of register. Instead of register button. And then for this one was leading you to to, let's say, sign up to login page, and it was login button, so we renamed that to forgot password. So there wasn't much editing done. And that's why Kodular, with Kodular, you can easily create a user interface in a very fast pace. Yeah. So let me hope we are together. I hope we are together. We now go to a very, let me say, disturbing screen. Not really disturbing as such, but it's going to be a bit involving. Dropping in components, dropping a lot of components here and there, and customizing them to, yeah, to customize them a lot. Yeah. So let me hope we are together. So don't forget, if you have any question, ask us. Great, great, great. If I'm too fast, don't forget to tell that as well, to tell us as well. So let's add a new screen. Let's add a new screen to create the dashboard page. I want us to finish the user interface and hopefully start a bit of backend if time allows. But if time doesn't allow, fantastic. We are still in the right pace. So click on add screen and then you can call it home. It's easier to locate a page called home. Dashboard, we sometimes can have that tendency of, yeah, mistyping. So just call it home, home page. Great. Now, for the home page, we are going to copy some background colors. We don't need to. You'll find the project colors below. Where it's written project colors, you'll be able to find some colors there. So about screen background color, there's no need to change that. So let's start by changing the align horizontal to center. I know right now we are easily familiarized with what we were doing. It's quite faster now as we progress. So align horizontal, make it center of the screen of the screen called home. Then for background color, choose the project color there, the one that you selected when we were creating the project before, and then click set. If you can't find it, a quick way of doing it is you can click on screen one and then click on the screen itself as a component and then scroll down and find where background color is, then double click there, right click and copy, then go to the home screen, navigate to the home screen, and then ensure that the screen is selected. Click on background color, double click, and then right click and paste. You'll be able to find, yeah, but most of the time you'll find that the project colors are down there. The colors that you are using, you'll find them there. Great. So let's navigate down. So far in this screen, we've aligned horizontal center and then aligned vertical is top. And then scroll down until we find scrollable. Ensure that you check that. Check the scrollable so that I know our items might exceed the height, or it might not exceed if you're using a big phone, but you might, if you're using a small phone, or if for users who are using a small phone, it might exceed. So bear in mind when you're creating apps, bear in mind all users. Someone might have a small phone, someone might have a big phone, accommodate all of them. Responsive design, creating something which is responsive. So for title visible, uncheck that, uncheck the title visible. I hope we are together. Now, if you look at that screen, we have a button at the top called written chat with us. And then we have, of course, there is a space at the top and the bottom. Then there is the explore section. And then, yeah, search destination. Let's do it. Let's do that. So let's start with the button. Let's start with the chat with us button. So go to the layout section at the general section, then drag a space as we did the last time, and then give it a height of 20 pixels. so that we have a bit of space from the top. Yeah, fantastic. So the space has a height of 20 pixels. Then after that, what do we have? We have an explore, but it doesn't start from the edge. As you can see, there is a margin from the edge of the screen. Let me make it so in full screen so that you can all see. As you can see here, there is a margin from the beginning. You can see there is a margin from the start of the screen. Okay, so we have the chat with us button. So let's put the chat with us button first. So let's go to our Kodular, go to the user interface, go to the user interface, drag a button and drop it after space 1. And then rename that button to chat button because we'll be using in the backend, chat button. We'll be implementing a simple chat that is real time with Firebase database. So rename that. So after you've renamed chat button, now let's give it some properties. Background color, we have the colors, the project colors, that shade of pink. If you selected a different color, well and good, feel free. You might not be a fan of pink. I am. So you might have selected a different color, that's fine. So pink as a background color. And we said before, like by convention of material design, buttons have font bold with a font size of 15, but you can feel free to increase that to the size of your liking. So in my case, I just selected font bold and 15 font size. Then typeface, I really loved font awesome 5 regular. That's what I'm going to use. Then for the height, I'm going to give it a height of 45 pixels and then give it a width of 80%, 80%. And then shape, rounded. And then, oh, width, I didn't type 80%, sorry, 80%. Ensure that you've typed 80% so that it stretches. Then for the text, it is chat with us. The text is chat with us. Great. What we've done so far is we've given it a background color of the accent color we chose, of the buttons, the button colors that we chose. Then font bold is selected, font size is 15, font typeface is font awesome 5 regular, height of 45 pixels, width of 80%, shape rounded, text chat with us. That's it. That is exactly, that's the only thing that we've done on that button. Now, duplicate that space 1 so that we can create space 2. You can duplicate it and then you can click on it and drag and drop it after the chat button. There's so many ways of doing it. You can either right click and duplicate. Just a reminder, you can either right click and duplicate, or you can copy. You can copy and then you can paste after a component, after a component. So instead of space 1 copy, let's rename it to space 2. Fantastic. I hope we are together. Now, after chat with us, as you can see in the interface, we have a text called explore, and it has not started at the edge. There is a margin. So we are going to use we are going to use, what do we call? We are going to use a horizontal arrangement because we don't want our text to start from the edge of the screen. We don't want our text to start from the edge of the screen. So we want to use a horizontal, you can use either horizontal or a vertical arrangement because there is only one item either way. So just drag a horizontal arrangement, drop it after space 2. There's no need of renaming it because it's not a clickable, something that we are going to use in the backend. Great. Now, we are going to, for align horizontals, just put center. Oh, no, align horizontal, leave it left. Sorry, align horizontal, leave it left, then align vertical, that's what you select center. Why? Because we want our text to start from the left, but this horizontal arrangement is just going to be of width 90% there. 90%, so that we have a 5% margin at each sides of the screen. So we give it a width of 90%. So type 90% at the width section. Then background color, click on background color, and then there is none. None is after the default color. So select on none like that, and then click on set. Don't give it a height, there is no need. So what we've done in this horizontal arrangement, align horizontal, we've left it at left, align vertical center, background color, we've selected none, and then width 90%, width of 90%. Now, go to the user interface section, drag a label, drop it inside the horizontal arrangement. You're not dropping it inside the screen one. Now this time you're dropping inside the horizontal arrangement. Remember, in this section or in this tutorial, we are going to drop a lot of stuff inside, inside arrangements. We are going to arrange a lot of stuff here and there. So be prepared. So this label, there's no need of renaming it as well, because it's not something that we'll be using in the backend section of the app. We are going to make it font bold. We are going to give it a font size of 20 pixels, something big to look like a title, okay? And then typeface, I'll be consistent with my typeface. I'll select font awesome 5 regular, but you can use Roboto because Roboto is like the default font for Android, but feel free. I've used font awesome 5 regular, and then height width, I'll just ignore that. So for the text, as you can see, it's called explore. So just type explore in the text section. Type explore. Then the text color, white, select white and set. So you have a nice explore UI. As you can see, our UI is coming up together. It's taking shape. It's taking shape. Now, after you have placed, of course, that is a horizontal arrangement, and then we have a label inside the horizontal arrangement. Now, duplicate space 2 again, or you can copy space 2 and click on the horizontal arrangement, and right click and paste below, so that we have space 3. You can rename that to space 3. No, not the horizontal arrangement, the space itself. Ensure that before you rename a component, it is the one that is selected. So we have space 3 like that. Rename. Then after that, we can see we have search destination, search destination. There is a search destination section. So we are going to do something similar to what we did here. What we are going to do is we are going to drop we are going to drop a layout. We are going to drop a layout. So drag and drop a horizontal arrangement. Drag and drop a horizontal arrangement. Then in this horizontal arrangement, we align horizontal. We leave everything as center. We leave everything as center. And then this time we are going to give it a background color. This time we're going to give it a background color. So you can select white. You can select white as the background color. And then for the height, you can leave it as it is, but the width, give it a width of 90% as well. You can give it a width of 90%. Ensure that you've typed percentage. And then there is a checkbox that is written use round card. I want you to check on that. Why? Because we want, when we install our application, it has some rounded edges in this card. The way this one is, let me just present my screen. As you can see, search destination is rounded towards the edges. It's rounded towards the edges. So that's why we have selected is cut. Don't select, use round card. For this section where it's written is card, it will give it a border, and we don't want a border. We don't want a border when we install the app. Fantastic. Now, go to the user interface. After you've finished working on the horizontal arrangement, go to the user interface and then scroll down and drag a text box, because when you search for something, you use a text box. So drop a text box. And then for this text box, you can rename it to search text box. Search text box. Then for the hint, just type there, search destination. For the hint, type search destination. That is in the search text box. For background color, you can choose none. So click on background color of the text box and then select none, and then click set, so that it takes the background color of the horizontal arrangement. Now, when you look at this user interface, there is an icon. Let me present my screen again. There is an icon towards the end. There is an icon towards the end of the search destination section. There is an icon. So a search icon. So as we said before, we are going to populate our data, but we are not going to upload images now. So I'll follow suit as well. So just go to the user interface and then section. Of course, we are still in the user interface section. Drag an image, then drop it towards the left, because we used a horizontal arrangement. So drag and drop it towards the left, and then you can give it a height of around 35 pixels and a width of also 35 pixels. I think 35 might be a bit big. You can reduce it to 30. Yeah, you can just reduce it to 30 pixels, 30 pixels. For the picture, we are going to upload it later. Now, for this text box, I need you to select it to a width of fill parent. And for fill parent, it's just a click away towards the end. The section, there is the width, it's automatic, or fill parent. So click on fill parent. So it will occupy the remaining percentage of the screen. It will occupy the remaining percentage of the items that are there. So the moment you select fill parent and there are widgets, or there are components, not widgets. The moment you select fill parent and there are components in a particular grouping, it will occupy the remaining space. That's worth mentioning. Great. So don't forget to upload there. I'll just upload the images and then later towards the end of the session, and then we can discuss further. Okay, great. Now to the next section, we have these subsections there. Let me present my screen so that we can see better. There are subsections. There is hiking section, jogging, swimming, and safari. Hiking, jogging, swimming, and safari. Great. Now, this section, of course, as you can see, it is horizontally arranged. Then you have a bit of vertical arrangement there, and playing around with a few items, playing around with vertical arrangements and spaces. So let's start with the first section. Of course, the first thing to do is create a space, duplicate or copy space 3, or you can duplicate space 3 and then drag space 3 to be below the horizontal arrangement, below the entire section. It can be below the entire section. And then you can reduce the height a bit to about 15 pixels, so that it is not, the search text box is not so far away from the components that you are going to drag and drop. Now, go to the layout section, general section, drag a horizontal arrangement and drop it below. Drop it below space 3. the copy of space 3. I forgot to rename that. Let's rename that to space 4. Fantastic. So in that horizontal arrangement, we are going to center everything. Yeah, we are going to align horizontal center, align vertical center, and then background color, none. None, none, none. Select none. And then width. Height, you're going to leave it automatic. Width, you're going to give it 90%. So type in 90%. So that's the only thing we've done in that horizontal arrangement. We've centered everything, align horizontal center, align vertical center, background color, none. Height is automatic, width 90%. So let's have a sneak peek again. We have, let me present again. Let me present again. So we have an arrangement there. We have an arrangement there of a particular height and width. Then after that arrangement, we have an image inside, okay? And then we have a little space between those two components, a little space of between the text and the upward component. So that's the only, it's a very simple thing that we are going to do. So go to the user interface and then drag and drop a vertical arrangement. That is the main arrangement that will be holding those subsections. So drag a vertical arrangement and drop it. Yeah, drag and drop a vertical arrangement inside the horizontal arrangement. And then in that vertical arrangement, center everything as well. And then background color, none. That's the only thing that we have done in that vertical arrangement. Now, the first item in the vertical arrangement, we are going to use a horizontal arrangement that will hold a particular background color. And then that horizontal arrangement will contain an image inside. So drag a horizontal arrangement and put it inside that vertical arrangement. And then after you put a horizontal arrangement there, center everything, and then for height and width, give it a height and width of 60 pixels. Give it a height of 60 pixels and a width of 60 pixels. Then you can use round cut. You can check that or you cannot. It's up to you. But I won't check that. I'll just leave it as square. And then, yeah, we have to change the background color. If you look at the first background color, the first background color is, let me check. It's a light version of pink. Forgive us today. We love pink. Feel free to choose any color of your liking. We are going to it's just about you alternating the colors. So I'll select pink, and then here at the at this section, I'm going to drag towards the white side so that it's a light version of pink. Like that. You drag it towards the left side, or towards the left side at the top, so that it's a light version of pink, and then click on set. And as you can see, it's nice there. Great. Now after that, click on the user interface and then drag an image and drop it inside the horizontal arrangement, and give it a height of about 35 pixels and a width of also 35 pixels. This will be holding an image. You're going to upload an image here and an image here as well. Then after that, we are going to the layout section. Click on general and then drag a space, and ensure that you are very keen. This space, you're going to put it under the vertical arrangement, inside the vertical arrangement, but outside the horizontal arrangement. So be careful. In case you've dropped it inside there, drag it and remove it and drop it outside so that this horizontal arrangement of ours doesn't have anything other than the image. It shouldn't have anything other than the image. That horizontal arrangement shouldn't have anything other than the image. Great. And this height, give it about 3 pixels. Just 3. Just 3 pixels. Then finally, we are going to the user interface, and then we are going to drag a label. We are going to drag a label. Where is the label? It's here. Drag a label, then drop it inside. Now this is just a matter of you using, I mean, it's more of precision. It's more of precision. Ensure that the image is just under space 5, and then not the image, the label. The label should be under space 5. And then what is the first item? The first item is hiking. So we are going to type hiking in the text. Hiking, like that. Hiking. Then font bold, and then the text color. Text color is white. Fantastic. We are almost there. We are almost there. So far, what we've done is, after we've placed the search text box and we have a space there, we'll have a horizontal arrangement of width 90%, okay? Then in that horizontal arrangement, you're going to drag a vertical arrangement and you're going to center everything. In that vertical arrangement, you're going to drag a horizontal arrangement that will hold our image. And that horizontal arrangement is of center, height, and width. I mean, horizontal and vertical, and a height and width of 60 pixels. Then you'll drag an image inside and give it a height and a width of 35 pixels. And then you'll drag a space. You'll drag a space after the entire horizontal arrangement and give it a height of 3 pixels. And then finally, you drag a label. And then in that label, the customization is just font bold. And then you type the text to hiking and the text color to white. Now, instead of us repeating all the process, repeating this entire thing again, I need you to click on the vertical arrangement. That is the root of everything, not the horizontal arrangement itself. The first vertical arrangement that we've ever used in this app is vertical arrangement 1 there. So that's what you are going to do. You're going to right click and then click on duplicate. It's going to duplicate on the side of the other, okay? And then you can right click again on the second vertical arrangement and then click on duplicate. It will push another one. So duplicate 3 times so that we have 4. We have 4 of them there. We have 4 subsections. We have 4 subsections. So if it's becoming tiny like mine, you can change your phone, your viewer to, I think, what is it? Samsung Galaxy S9. You can change it to that temporarily because the minimum width of the phone can't be above 60 times 4. So yeah, fantastic. The minimum, I mean, width of the screen. Just saying. If we are there together, I hope we are together. Now, the first one is hiking. The second one is jogging, then swimming, then safari. Jogging, swimming, safari. Hope I won't forget. So jogging, change the text to jogging. And then change the third text to swimming. Then the final text or the final section to safari. I hope we are together. Then the final thing we are going to do to this user interfaces, to this section, is we are going to drag a space in between this vertical arrangements. We are going to drag spaces in between. So go to the layout section and then click on general, and then we are going to drag the first space. Drag the first space, ensure that it is in between these two vertical arrangements. Great. And then if you want, you can duplicate that and move it towards the second vertical arrangement and duplicate that as well and move it towards the third section like that. Then the final thing we are going to do is click on the first space and give it a width of fill parent like that. The second space, fill parent width. The third space, fill parent width. So what fill parent does is in this width that we are dropping in between is it is spacing them uniformly. It is spacing them uniformly because we have a 60 by 60 containers or components, and then we are saying that whatever space is left, let it be occupied by an empty space, whatever space is left. So if you can see, like this is Samsung Galaxy 9, if you navigate to a bigger phone, especially so that we know the difference, you find, okay, I don't know if we can, okay, great. This is a great example. You can find that the space is occupying the remaining space, literally. So I'll just go back to my Samsung. Virtually, yeah, virtual Samsung. So I hope we are together up to that point. So as you can see in our screen, we have a text which is similar to the one that is at the top, and then there are spaces at the top and at the bottom as well. So what we are going to do is you're going to duplicate the space that is just after explore. We are going to duplicate that, duplicate, and then we are going to drag it and drop it below at the bottom so that it's just extremely, or it's under, what I can say, it is under that vertical arrangement. It is under that vertical arrangement. So at your own time, I highly encourage you to come and rename these images. So I think I'm going to do to rename mine, because as you can see, we have, this one is called horizontal arrangement for copy. I think it's a lot. And this one also, it's called image 2 copy because you're copying, I mean, it's a copy of, you know what I mean? It's a copy of the previously copied item. So I'll start with that one. You can rename that one to vertical arrangement 2. And then the items inside image, instead of image, I mean, that is image 2 copy. We already have an image before. So the best way is here at the image 1, we can just rename that to search image, search or search icon. Search image is okay, rename. So that when we come here, this one is image 2. We can just rename it to image 1, like that. Then this is hiking, that is label 2. That's okay. For the labels, we don't need to work ourselves out so much. So we can rename that to label 3. It's just about renaming. It's not something fancy, and you're not going to use it in the backend. If it is not bothering you, well and good. You can just skip that process. Like this one is called vertical arrangement 1 copy. So we can just rename that to vertical arrangement 3. And this one is, I mean, 3 times copy of vertical arrangement 1. So we can rename that to vertical arrangement 4, like that. Anyway, let's continue. As you can see, there is a title there. There is a title there called popular, as in with the text popular. So it's very similar to this explore. So you're going to right click this horizontal arrangement and then you are going to duplicate or copy. You can copy. You can copy or duplicate. So I'll just duplicate, and then I'll drag it to the extreme bottom, and then I'll rename that one. Instead of explore, I'm going to rename it to popular. So the text is popular. Then after that, you are going to, okay, this is a duplicate of, or a copy of a horizontal arrangement one. So there's no need of renaming it, it's okay. I'll just say it isn't much wordy. So after that, as you can see, there are images with alternating height. And this height are in percentages. Like as you can see in this city section, let me present my screen. This is the final section we are going to do. As you can see, we have an image of a bigger height, and then an image of a lesser height. And then it's like this is alternating on the other side. This is alternating on the other section. So this is what we are going to do. Of course, the first thing is, as you can see, it is a horizontal arrangement. Then you have two vertical arrangements and then spaces in between. Great. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to drag a horizontal arrangement. This is the second last thing that we're going to do in terms of creating components. So before we do that, you can drag and drop a space or duplicate a space and then give it a height of 20 pixels. Put a space after popular. Then after that, you are going to drag a horizontal arrangement. So drag a horizontal arrangement, give it, center everything. Align horizontal center, align vertical center, background color, set it to none. Height, we are going to leave it as automatic, but width, we are going to give it a 90% width, 90%. So what we've done is we've dragged a horizontal arrangement, as you can see in the screen. It has an aligned horizontal center, aligned vertical center. We've removed the background color. That clickable, ensure that is unchecked. Yeah, don't make clickable checked. Give it a width of 90%. Height, leave it automatic. Then we are going to drag a vertical arrangement. We are going to drag a vertical arrangement and drop it inside there. We're going to drag a vertical arrangement. And in this vertical arrangement, center everything as well. So I'll center, align horizontal center, align vertical center, background color, choose none. Background color, choose none, like that. Then after you've chosen none, give it a width of fill parent. Why? Because we are going to duplicate this entire vertical arrangement. So it shouldn't bother you right now. What we are going to do is when we put our components in there and duplicate it, it will create like a fixed or rather a well-distributed width of components. So after you've selected fill parent, go again and drop another vertical arrangement inside there, because as you can see, in that vertical arrangement, we have a vertical arrangement that will be holding these images, these two images, and a vertical arrangement can have a background image. That's one thing I'd really insist. So you drop another vertical arrangement. You can drop another vertical arrangement inside the screen, inside that vertical arrangement that we have. So you can drop a vertical arrangement. Where is it? A vertical arrangement, drop it inside there. And then you can give it a height of, you can give it a, we are going to give it a background image. This vertical arrangement, you're going to give it a background image. But for now, you can give it a height of 35%. Give it a height of 35%. Just write 35 and then click percent. So it's going to be a bit of a longer vertical arrangement. So because we are going to put a background image here, we are not going to edit the background color so that we remember that we are supposed to put an image there. For the width, just leave it as fill parent as well. So this will have a background image. Then after that, we are going to drag a space after. We are going to drag a space after, and in this space, we are going to give it a height of 20. Then we are going to drag another vertical arrangement. After the space, we're going to drag another vertical arrangement and put it after the space there, but inside the major vertical arrangement. And in this, we are going to give it a height of 25% so that it's smaller. I know you can picture the idea now, and then give it a width of fill parent like that. So before we proceed further, this is a vertical arrangement, and we can change it to, it isn't a must for now, but you can change it to align horizontal center, because when you see here in this image, you can see that there is a text called city, and then a heart icon, ocean, a heart icon, something like that. So we are going to drag a horizontal arrangement now inside that vertical arrangement, and then we put a text and an image. We put a text and an image. So let's drag a horizontal arrangement, put it there, and I think we'll put a space first at the bottom, at the top. We drag a space, put it at the top, and give that space a height of 10 pixels. So let's come and edit the horizontal arrangement. Give it a width of fill parent. Give it a width of fill parent, and then you can center everything as well. Align horizontal center, align vertical center, and then for background color, you can choose none and set. And then if you can see in our previous image, we have the text city and then a heart icon towards the end. So we are going to drag a label from the user interface. So click at the user interface section and then drag a label, drop it in that section. And then we are going to type in, we are going to, before we type in, let's drag an image first and then put it towards the end besides the text. So for the image, you can give it a height of 20 and a width of 20 as well. I think 20 is a bit tiny. 25. 25 will be okay. So put 25. 25, 25. For the picture, we'll edit later. So for the label, we have the first item is city. So let's go to change that to city. Let's change that to city. The good thing is we are going to only create this once and duplicate. So don't worry, it's just as easy as us duplicating. So after we change it to city, change the font to be bold, and then font size, you can leave it as it is. Typeface, I'll choose the regular one that I like, but feel free. I've chosen font awesome regular. Then the text color, white. So it won't be visible now because we've not placed our image there, but that is okay. So the final thing that we're going to do in that vertical arrangement is we are going to drag a layout, a space, put it in between. We are putting in between city, and then we can say the width is fill, parent, so that it spaces. City starts from the end, and or if you don't want it to touch the end, extreme end, you can give it you can give it a width of around 30%. I think that's much better, 30%, so that it spaces itself well. Great. Now, we are going to duplicate this entire horizontal arrangement. So before we duplicate that, we're going to duplicate that space 9. You can copy space 9 and then come into that vertical arrangement, the one that is below of height 25%. You can paste it there. Right click and then paste inside. Great. And ensure that that arrangement is at the center. Center everything. Align vertical center, align horizontal. No, align vertical is, align vertical is actually top. Yeah, it's actually top. Then align horizontal is center. Then we'll duplicate this horizontal arrangement, or you can copy. You can copy, and then you can right click there and paste below. Fantastic. Now, the final duplicate. This entire vertical arrangement, that was, in my case, it's vertical arrangement 5, that is holding these two major vertical arrangements. I want us to duplicate that. So you can just right click and then duplicate. Because it is inside the horizontal arrangement, it will place it on the side. Yes, like that. It will place it on the side. Then, when you saw in our previous image, the first section, or the first, is it a row or column? I think it's things that go horizontally. I think it is, yeah, it is a column. Yes, it's a column. The first column is has a height of, as in the first column has an image of a bigger height, and the second one, the second image is smaller, and then the other column is alternating. So we are going to alternate this entire vertical arrangement. You can drag it and drop it. Try and interchange it. So let that white blue line guide you. As you can see, it is writing, is telling me drop there. So I've dropped it there. And then that space, this space, is the one that will move in between those two components. Fantastic. Then I'll duplicate, or I'll copy this space. I'll copy, and then I will paste besides here. I'll paste it, or the best way is I think I'll duplicate, because I have so many components here. I'll just duplicate, and then I'll run it in between the two, so that we have a huge, or some nice breathing space between our components. I hope you guys have not given up or lost. I hope we are together. Either way, if maybe you've shied away from asking, or you're not following, this is a recorded session. Please create some time and follow it. But I hope we are together. I hope we are together. So, Rose, you are saying kindly repeat the drag and drop process. That's a great question. So, Sonia, you're asking. Oh, sorry. Let me check the chat questions. Sorry, let's check the chat question. So, Mariam, whoa, is the vertical arrangement inside horizontal, or horizontal inside vertical? Wow, that's a great question. So what is happening is I think Agnes, you answered that very well. The vertical arrangement is inside the horizontal arrangement. And then we have another vertical arrangement inside that vertical arrangement. So that's how coding is. You don't shy trying out and putting in components inside the other. I hope, Mariam, you answered. If not, just let me know. So Sonia, you're asking if this session also going to be uploaded on your Facebook page. It is live in our Facebook page. You'll find it there. we'll ensure that we've renamed it. It's live, and when we stop recording, it will still be in our Facebook page, and we're going to even upload it on YouTube and share with you the links. So awesome. So we have Esther, you're saying we are together. Margaret, you're together. I'm glad we are together. So Rose, you're saying, kindly repeat the drag and the drop process. So it's very easy. It's very easy. What we have done is we have duplicated this entire vertical arrangement. Let me just delete this vertical arrangement that we duplicated. Where is it? Yeah, that one. So I'll delete that. Delete. It will take some time. So I'll leave that space because, yeah, I want it there. But you can, maybe you are here. Let me just delete that. Let me, for the sake of us following together. Now, this entire vertical arrangement, the mother of the two vertical arrangements, okay? In layman's term, right click and then click on duplicate. After it has duplicated, there is a space between the two. So what I'll do is I'll duplicate this space and then drag and drop it in between these two spaces, Then, as you can remember, in our previous user interface, the first column, the image is of a bigger height, and the first image is of a bigger height and the second one is smaller, and it alternates in the second column. So that's what we are going to do. Interchange these two. This top one, you can drag and let that blue line guide you. Drag it, don't fear, drag it and drop it below there. And then that space that is left at the top, you can drag it and put in between those two vertical arrangements. And that's it for now. Then finally, we will rename that. We'll rename that. This one is city. The first text is city. The second one is mountain, ocean, then forest. City, mountain, ocean, forest. So you can rename that. So this is city. This is, hey, I keep on forgetting. I think mountain. Yes, mountain. Mountain. Great. And then we have the third text. Just try to find it. It's ocean. Where is it? Yeah, text. Ocean. Then forest. Forest. Fantastic. Then the last thing we are going to do is we are going to put a space so that we don't want our items to touch the extreme bottom. So we'll drag a space and drop it. Let the blue line guide you. Drop it below at the extreme end and give it a height of 20 pixels. And we are done with this page. Wow. We are done with the user interface of this page. I just want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for following through this session. So let's just continue. Let's soldier on. It's just a matter of us copying and pasting and putting one item inside the other. As simple as that. So yeah. So we are going to create the final user interface. We are going to create the final user interface and ensure that we have all the non-visible components that we require. And then we are going to begin from there, from the next session. In the next session, that is next week, we're going to begin there next week so that we create a live Firebase chat. That's the aim of this. At least you've familiarized yourself with creating a user interface. We want to familiarize ourselves with a bit of backend. And then from there, I think our wings, it's not just I teaching, we are learning from each other. So I think from there, both our wings will be stronger to go and research further and create even more complex apps. So great. So after this user interface, feel free. I'll be waiting for questions. I'll be waiting for questions if there is any pressing issue. Great. So I can see we are together. Where are the live icons? Rose, you're asking where are the live icons? We have not placed them yet. We are going to place the love icons and all the images towards the end of the session. Okay? We are going to place all of them towards the end of the session. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. Now, let's create the final user interface, the final screen. Okay? This is the final screen. Click on Add Screen, and then you can name it Chat. Okay? Name it Chat. Then after you create that, click on Create.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, Boaz.
So I'm lost somewhere.
Uh-huh.
So the moment you create like our chat screen, it is saved automatically. Or what happens?
Yes, it is saved automatically. Even if you leave this, if you leave this screen and go to and switch off your computer and log into any other computer in Kodular, you'll find it there.
Okay, it's okay.
Oh, great, great question. Fantastic. Now, in the chat page, let us maintain the back. What do we call the? It is called. I mean, the background. Let's maintain the background. Yeah. So click on the. I mean, the chat page. Of course, is the only component that is there. So let's put a background color of the one that you chose. That's dark background color. Then click set. This time, we are not going to change the up bar that much. We are not going to change the up bar that much. We are not going to change the up bar that much. But what we are going to do here is we will leave the up bar. We are going to leave it as it is. And if that color is not nice for you, you can easily go to screen one. You can easily go to screen one, and then instead of not primary dark, I mean, instead of primary color, let me cancel this. So for primary color, you can change that to that one or a darker version of that. You can change it to any color that you like of your choosing. So you can change that and set. So in case you don't like that blue, feel free and go and change it on screen one. But I'll just leave mine as it is. I've changed it anyway, but if you change it as in screen one, you'll be able to see that it has also changed there. It has changed there as well. So in this chart, what we are going to do is we are going to ensure that align horizontal is center. Align horizontal is center. Then we are going to drag a vertical scroll arrangement. We've not used this for a while. I mean, we've never used this for a while. So a vertical scroll arrangement. So this chart is going to be a bit different. The chart is going to use some components of labels and in the HTML format. But after this session, I want to challenge you because we won't learn everything. We are not going to learn everything. I highly encourage you guys to go and research. So in the next chart, what I highly encourage you to do is you are going to try these views. There is a chart view. You can try the chart view, and there are so many examples of using chart view. Use chart view and backend Firebase database. This time we are going to use a label that will customize our view, but I highly encourage you to try out chart view at your own pleasure. Great. Now, this vertical arrangement, I think I should put space at the top, of course, so that you have a little space between our charts and the up bar. I mean, a little space between the up bar and yeah, what is it? The horizontal scroll arrangement. So put a space there and then give it a height of 10. I think 10 is enough. Or if you find it too tiny, always feel free to increase the height. Now, this vertical arrangement, let's not edit it anyway. Let's drag a horizontal arrangement, put it below the vertical arrangement. Now, this will contain a place where we're going to type in, that is a text box, and then it will contain a button. Let's start with the one that is at the bottom. So it will contain a text box and a button so that someone can type in the message and tap on send. So this width, give it a width of, I think, fill parent. Yeah, you can give it a width of fill parent, or if you don't want it to touch the edges. I always don't like my user interfaces touching the edges. You can give it a bit, a width of 95%. So you can change that width to 95%, and then align horizontal and vertical, center everything. Align horizontal and vertical, center everything, and then go to the user interface. No, before you do that, sorry, at the horizontal arrangement, remove the background color, click on background color and select to none, and click on set. So what we've done in the horizontal arrangement is align horizontal is center, align vertical is center, background color none, width 95%. That's the only thing that we've changed. And then let's go to the user interface. Let's go to the user interface and then drag a text box. Drag a text box, drop it there. In that text box, let's give it a height of about 45 pixels, not percent. That would be too big. 45 pixels. And then for the width, we are going to change that in a short while. So for this text box, kindly rename that text box to, message text box, because that's where we are going to type in the message before we tap on send. So message text box, message text box. So give it a background color of white. Give it a background color of white and then click on set. In that text box, remember to change the hint. Let it not be hint for text box 1. The hint should be enter message. Enter message. I don't know what hint WhatsApp uses. Something familiar. I don't know. Type a message. Yeah, we can write something similar, but enter message is okay. So we can say type a message or enter message. Just let's not copy so much. Great. And then we are going to drag a button. We are going to drag a button. We are going to drag a button towards just besides that message text box. Drag a button and drop it there. And then give it a height of 45 pixels. Okay, let's start from the top again. Give it a height of 45 pixels. Then width, just leave it as it is. And then for the text, you can say send. You can type in send. It would be awesome if we would have put a bit of an icon, but for now, let's leave it as it is. Sorry, I think sometimes I can see a pop-up of my internet is not stable. I apologize for that. Now, let's change the background color of the text of the button. It should be the one that you selected before for uniformity reasons. Then font should be bold. Font size 15. Typeface is I chose font awesome 5. Font awesome 5. So for the button, ensure that you've renamed the button to send button or send message button. Send message button. And then now go back to the message text box and then give it a width of fill parent so that it occupies the remaining space. This will enable the user to type in at least at a bigger space. And then when they are done, they can just tap on the send button that is at the end. Great. Now, we can put at least, we can duplicate that space 1 and then put it at the extreme bottom so that we have a copy of space 1 at the bottom. And then this vertical scroll arrangement, we've not touched it. We've not touched it. So we are going to give it a line horizontal and vertical. It's not a must for us to put center and center anyway, but background color we are going to remove so that it can be none. So change the background color of the vertical scroll arrangement. Remember, we are not using a vertical arrangement. We are using a vertical scroll, okay? So ensure that you have a vertical scroll arrangement. It has a plus icon at the beginning of that, yeah. So after that, we are going to give it a height of fill parent so that it occupies the space of the entire of the remaining of it occupies the remaining space, okay? So can give it a height of fill parent like that, and then width give it 95%. 95%. So let me just revert back to that tinier phone, Google Pixel 3. As you can see, our items are coming up nicely. So the final thing we are going to drag, I want us, just in 2 minutes, let's finish. This is the final part of the user interface. We drag the non-visible components, and then we can get our images in the last 10 minutes, okay? So in this section, we are going to drag a label, drop it inside the vertical scroll arrangement, and then give it a height and width of fill parent. Click on fill parent towards the side. And then for the text font typeface, select the one that you like. I chose font awesome 5, regular, but select the one that you like. Then text color, ensure that it is white. So it's fill parent, font typeface, change it to your liking, and then text color, white. Then finally, click on advanced properties. Click on advanced properties, and then there is HTML format. Ensure that that is checked. HTML format, ensure that that is checked. And we are done. We are done with the user interface. So for the non-visible components that we need here, we need at least a notifier. We also need a Firebase database. We need a notifier, we need a Firebase database, and we need a TinyDB database. So we'll discuss more in the coming session, but I want you to go to the first thing is we are still in the user interface. Drag and drop a notifier there. Drag and drop a notifier. We'll repeat this, I believe. We'll have a recap in the next class. So drag a notifier and then go to Google, drag Firebase database. Then finally, go to storage and drag TinyDB. What we've done is we have dragged a notifier which is at the user interface section, or if you cannot find it, you can just type there, notifier. You don't have to know where exactly it is. Drag a notifier, drag Firebase database, and drag TinyDB. We'll add more in the coming session because I said in the last 10 minutes, we are going to put our images. We are going to put our images, and I open floor for questions at this point. I open a room for questions. Do you have any questions, feel free to ask. Feel free to ask. So I know there was, okay, I think someone is, Just a minute. Okay, great, great, great. Now let's go and put our images. Let's go and put our images. So ensure that you're on mute so that we can, yeah, you never know. Great. So let's go and put our images from the home page.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Excuse
Simon.
me, madam.
Yes.
Yeah, so okay, I was looking and I was curious. In chat we usually have, the chat bubbles, and how will those display?
Okay, that's great. As I said before, we are going to
Mhm.
implement those chat bubbles using HTML because it's a simple chat. And then I challenged you a little bit. We have this component in the layout section. It is in the layout section, not in general, in views. Layout section in view, and then there is chat view. I'm challenging you now to go that extra mile and implement chat using chat view based on what we are going to learn. Okay, it's because during these sessions we always have limited time, but at least during with this limited time, you have at least you will have at least captured the basics for you to go and explore more on your own. Maybe is that
Okay,
clear?
okay. Yeah, thank you. My internet was down when you were saying that.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. It's always good to ask. Don't worry. It's always good to ask anytime. Then, Esther, you're asking, how will we submit what we have been doing to test if one is totally understanding what is taught? I don't know who's. Or Esther, you're asking, how will we submit what we have been doing to tests? Or testing, for testing, I'll just mention that briefly. If you want to test we know we've not implemented the backend, so you'll only see screen one if you test this app. But go ahead and test. Click on export, then you can choose Android app APK, or you can click on test. Okay, you can click on test, and then there is an app companion for Kodular that is in Play Store. I will mention this in detail in the coming session because that's at least we would have implemented a few screens. We would have implemented a few screens here and there. But you can export the app, then click Android APK, and then it will show you where to download that APK, send it to your phone either using your USB, and then you can install it and try it out. That's a great question, Esther. So let's go get the images. Rose, we are not hearing you completely. That's why I think we are just hearing some, I don't know. Maybe unmute yourself and try speaking again. We are hearing some noise, but we're not hearing your voice. Unmute yourself and ask the question again. Let's try this again. We can't hear you completely. Go ahead and give it a try. Hi, Rose. Okay, when can
Hello,
some...
John.
Hello, Rose. Yes, go ahead. At least you're now clear. You're now clear.
I was trying to sort my audio. I
Okay,
was asking when can someone use horizontal scroll,
a
and can
horizontal.
it be?
Uh-huh.
Can I add a couple of images so I can see a lot of, how do you call them? Well, we are okay. I'm forgetting the name, but I can I add a couple of images so when one visited my page,
Mhm.
it appears like one thing is appearing, one picture is appearing after another.
Oh, Like it interchanges itself, or it's just in a way that you can scroll?
Or it just interchanges automatically when the user is on your screen.
Oh, great, great. Now, there is one thing we call Viewflipper here. It's at the layout section in the views. There is that Viewflipper. It needs a bit of implementation. It is possible, though I will challenge you to go and have a look at it. It is very possible. You can implement it using a view flipper. With a view flipper, you can put even multiple views, not necessarily an image alone. It can be an entire horizontal arrangement with a couple of components, and then it interchanges itself automatically. It is very possible. You can use a view flipper. Now, for horizontal scroll, let's say your user interface is very basic. It's not something that it interchanges itself, and you just want to put a couple of images, so that's or a couple of options, so that someone can scroll through. It is possible, but when you use a horizontal scroll, remember that you won't be able to see items. Let me just give you a quick example. If I drag, I don't know if it is possible in this editor or in this tool, but for example, I put a horizontal scroll arrangement, and then I put more than 3 components there. Let me try one. Let me make it fill parent so that we can have a gist of what we are doing. Then let me put an image, and then put multiple checkboxes. This is just for trial. As you can see, the moment space runs out, I won't have a space, or I won't be able to scroll through and see. So the recommended way, you'll only be able to scroll only during runtime. So the recommended way is when you are using a horizontal scroll arrangement, you start by putting the last item that you envision to be in that horizontal scroll arrangement. You start by putting it, customize it the way you want, and then you can go ahead and put the second last like that. It's just like you're putting items in a box. The one that is at the bottom, you start with the one that will go towards the bottom. So I hope I've answered your question. That's a great question, Rose. Thank you. Thank you. I think these questions are amazing because they open our mindset in a way that you are now thinking now outside the box. In case you're implementing an app, what happens? That's a great question. Keep them coming. Even as we implement the backend, keep the questions coming. There is something that maybe you've thought about. Keep the questions coming. Now let's put our images as we promised. I have mine downloaded, but I think during the web development section, you learned that you can get free images from pixabay.com. We have unsplash.com. You can use free, or you can get free images to use. Okay, I have mine already downloaded, but you can go ahead and download an image. Here you can start here with a search image. Start with the search image, go to flaticon.com and search for a search image, flaticon.com, and get a heart or a search image. You're going to get a search image and a heart image there. So a search image. So I'll just upload what I have for me, but in case you're stuck, you can always ask. So let me just upload my assets. It's in the downloads, I think. Yes. Okay, so I'll start with the search. I have a search icon already. And then there are, I think, these icons. This is city. So I like doing that, like downloading my assets later after I've created something. Basically, I often use, I always use a single image everywhere, and then to just have an overview. And then after that, that's when I, what do I say? That's when I just I go ahead and download the images that I like, because I have that tendency of taking a very long time. I don't know why, to search for images. So yeah, that's just me. But maybe you're different. Maybe you are different. So Ocean, I think I've uploaded that. So this will just be at your own time, like at your own time. Just go and search for the images slowly. Ensure that you have all the images that you like before our next session, at least so that your interface is like an app now. Something like an app. Great. Now here I think I have a search. And then here I have hiking. So for picture, I think I have hiking there. Yes. Then for jogging, I think I chose running. Then swimming. Swimmer. Feel free to keep the questions coming if you have any, but we are winding up. And this is something we'll leave you to do at your own time after the session. Then remember, for this horizontal or vertical arrangements, you put your image at the image section. So I'll just click there. I think I'll choose, was it city? Yes, we have city. Then mountains. Volcano, I think. And then for ocean, if maybe you're running, okay. If maybe you're running out of space like me, you can always choose the Samsung Galaxy so that you can be able to view whatever you have. Okay, and I think this width is a bit, it's a bit big, so you can always choose 20% so that our heart image is visible. Yeah. So ocean. And then finally forest. Great, 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 great. Now, as you can see, I think a width of 30% is a bit big. We can change that to 20%. Yeah, so that our heart icon becomes visible, or even reduce it further. Great. Now, this is where we put our heart icon. Yeah. So it's coming up together. If you find it too big, always feel free to reduce. So give it reduce this to 20%. 15%. Then heart. Then finally, okay, this is just me uploading the images, but I think we are extended by 5 minutes. So if there are no further questions, I think we'll stop here. So next time, expect us to start working on the back end. I think for if you've not yet dragged the non-visible component, no worries. But we are going to start with the sign up, login, then chat, implement a bit of chat here, and then discuss further. If time allows, at least we will look at one dynamic component like a side navigation or a bottom navigation, either of the two. But if time doesn't allow, we are going to give you resources on where you can go and have a look and read further and try them out. And if you encounter a problem along the way, we will always be there to assist. So I hope we are together, and I think I will I will stop talking and welcome our co-facilitator. I will welcome our co-facilitator, Mr. Brighton. Karibu.
Madam, please.
Yes, Simon.
Before that, could you send the 3 images in maybe in chat possibly?
No problem.
The 3. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Joan. And I hope everyone will follow with the video. And those who always ask where the video is at, always go to the YouTube channel, and hopefully you'll find today's video there. Thank you very much, Joan.
Thank you as well, Mr. Brighton. That was awesome. Thank you so much. And what I will do is I'll stop the live session, and then I'll upload the images. I'll stop the live session and upload the images so that you can get them in case you want images that are similar to mine. Thank you guys and have a lovely evening.